Now, speaking at the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, External Affairs Minister S Jaishankar said on Friday that India is among the few ancient civilizations that have survived to merge as a major modern nation-state. Responding to a question on India's neighbourhood policy, Jaishankar said that if a country decides that they will deliberately, persistently continue with terrorism, we have the right to defend our people and we will exercise it. How will we exercise that right is up to us. Nobody can tell us what we should do or not.
Just 2 days ago, neighbors, and if you look to the one to the west, if a country decides that they will deliberately, persistently, unrepentantly continue with terrorism, we have a right to defend our people against terrorism. We will exercise that right. How we exercise that right is up to us. Nobody can tell us what we should do or not. We will do whatever we have to do to defend ourselves. It's a common sense proposition.
Meanwhile, hitting out at Pakistan over Indus Water Treaty, S Jaishankar said that many years ago, we agreed to a water sharing arrangement as a gesture of goodwill. However, if there are decades of terrorism and if there is no good neighborliness, you do not get the benefit of that. You cannot say, please share water with me and we'll continue with terrorism.
Many years ago, we agreed to a water arrangement, water sharing arrangement, because the belief, the underpinning of that was, it was a gesture of goodwill, because for good neighborliness we were doing it. But if you had decades of terrorism, there is no good neighborliness. If there is no good neighborliness, you don't get the benefits of that good neighborliness. You can't say, I will, please share water with me, but I will continue terrorism with you. That's not reconcilable.
Meanwhile, Jaishankar's statement is in response to Pakistan crying that India is consistently attempting to undermine the Indus Water Treaty. The Indus Water Treaty has been placed in abeyance, especially after the attack in Pahalgam and the resultant Operation Sindoor. Pakistan has been, in fact, raising the issue in several international forums. The Indus Treaty was negotiated by the IMF. Now, we have with us our input editor, Brijesh Pandey, who in fact joins us. Brijesh, strong words coming in from the External Affairs Minister Jaishankar saying that good neighborliness requires good actions to be taken as well, and highlighting the terrorism that India has been facing, despite India ensuring that it followed the Indus Treaty to every word on it and finally taken a decision after it realized that its neighbor is not going to change.
I think, it was very plain speak as far as, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. S Jaishankar, is concerned. He made it very, very clear, and I think there cannot be any other way you can look at his statement when he says that, that if you are the one who is deliberately, and if you look at the choice of the word which he used, he says that if a country decides that it will deliberately, persistently, and unrepentantly continue with terrorism, then we have a right to defend our people. And they have also made that, he also made it very, very clear that, that the India is not going to be under any kind of pressure from the Western world about the way how we are going to respond to this persistent act of terrorism against us from 1990s. It's been more than 33 decades and India is still suffering from it. So this was a very, very clear statement which has come from Jaishankar. He also went on to say that, it is not that India has not helped its neighbor. India has grown. The neighbors have also benefited. He gave COVID time as a point and example when he said that, the neighbors were the first one who got vaccines from India. And he also went on to say that if India grows, all our neighbors will grow. And I think he said that this is the message he also took to Bangladesh. So it was a very, very clear, plain speak by External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, where he made it very clear that if you keep on following the path of terrorism, then you cannot cry about the effect which it will get, or the action which India will initiate. And India reserves the right to respond in the fashion it deems fit, and not because, what some foreign country or, somebody close to Pakistan would decide. But he also emphasized, given the kind of SAR ties and the tense ties we have right now with the Bangladesh, that if India grows, all our neighbors will grow with us. And I think it's a very, very important message which External Affairs Minister has given in this particular interaction.
Well, when it comes to punitive actions, this is actually one of the major punitive actions that India has taken by suspending the Indus Water Treaty and probably not even giving an idea about when it could in fact resume or not. But for Pakistan, the Indus Water Treaty is important because the river Indus is its lifeline. And for the first time, it seems that since India has taken a position like that, Pakistan seems to be a little too much concerned, especially when its agricultural areas tend to be parched, especially when water storage in Chenab had increased.
Absolutely, and I think it's a very strategic decision which the India has taken. It's rightly called lifeline for nothing, and this is the reason why the Pakistan side has been talking about how it is going to take this issue in the international forum. But the fact of the matter is that you cannot be run with the hare and hunt with the hound. You will have to adopt a policy which is friendly and not inimical to Indian interest. Pakistan has been a terror-sponsoring nation against India for a very, very, very long time now, and I think every issue comes with a sell-pass date, and I think the sell-pass date has come as far as Pakistan's sponsorship of terrorism to India, and India has made it very clear that it doesn't matter at all whichever international forum they take this stoppage of Indus Water Treaty to, but the fact of the matter is that you cannot be a terror sponsor and expect India to honor the letter of the law and in spirit as far as Indus Water Treaty is concerned.
Brijesh, Indus as a river, most of its catchment areas are within India, and therefore that is why that treaty in fact had come in. But there has been no institutional pressure on India at all, despite India going ahead and suspending it, though there were concerns raised by certain international organizations, but most of them have not actually insisted or have tried to intervene.
Well, people are also aware about India's position vis-a-vis the policies of Pakistan. What happened in Pahalgam is something which, nobody, no country in the world can try to justify. It was a brutal, barbaric terror act which was perpetrated by forces which have been, aided and abetted, trained by Pakistan. And this is the reason why, despite Pakistan crying foul, Pakistan going to America, or Pakistan talking to various other countries, they have not been able. They have not been able to get an ally who has accepted or agreed to put pressure on India, or at least make an attempt to talk to India, because they also know that the position of Pakistan vis-a-vis Indian interest is extremely shaky. The fact of the matter is that Pakistan, from 90s, has been a permanent supplier of low-grade terror warfare as far as India is concerned, and there is a limit to which a country can take. And I think, that threshold has been crossed. And this is the reason why, despite Pakistan's seeking help from other countries, it has not resulted in anything concrete for it.
Well, thank you, Brijesh, for in fact joining us with all those details.